Good morning, everyone. My name is Jude Heron, and in today's video, we're going to finish up this drawing. We're going to erase the guidelines that we put down. And what I would like to do in this video is just kind of tidy up everything, right? Like, in the past 5 videos, I kind of was real quick about it. And, there's a reason for that. This is like a 5-minute drawing challenge. What can you do in 5 minutes? How much can you explain in 5 minutes? And, really the process to draw takes much longer than 30 minutes. I mean, drawing like this, if I really had to sit down and do this, I could easily spend like an hour just looking at it and working on it. And so what this part of the video is going to be is just focusing on what are things that when you've kind of gotten to this point, what are things to look at and maybe change if it doesn't look right. Kind of double checking your work. So when I'm looking at this, I'm pretty content, but there's some things I'm not content with. So for example, I put down the nose and I like it, but I kind of feel the sense of maybe giving it a little bit more of a slope, right? Just a little bit, right? Nothing crazy. Maybe I want the forehead to be a little bit more defined. Maybe I can just change that just a little. Again, it's more like redrawing it to just sharpen the look. And I may have mentioned this in my past videos, but the point of no return when you draw is when you begin shading. Once you begin shading, there's no coming back from that. Trying to correct a drawing that has been shaded is a mess. In fact, it can actually destroy your art completely. And I don't want that to happen here. So we're not there yet. We're not at the point of no return. We're at the point of just double checking your work and make sure you're happy and committed to what you've put down. And at this moment, I've done enough changes where I feel quite committed to it. I mean, I'm looking at it from the camera because I'm at an angle and the camera's looking at it upright. But and I like what I'm seeing. I just had to kind of touch up the bridge of the nose and make sure it looks good. And so that's how you do it, right? And the only thing that could probably be left to do would just be, again, sharpening these little lines. Maybe this kind of looks like a mess of pencil, and that's actually perfectly fine. But you could, maybe if you want, you can just kind of go in there and just add a few things to make it more embellished. That's something you can do. That's what I typically do. And what you'll notice, the process to drawing, it's like you start with the roughest details you can get, and then you elaborate on it, and you try to get it into something that's a little bit more refined. And then you keep doing this until you have your finished product. And that's kind of what I'm doing, right? I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, there's some things I could go back and change. But that's because I just put down the rough pencils first, and then now is the time to think seriously, and do I want to keep the detail that I have? So yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it. And actually, to be honest, I'm even going to kind of add some of the hair brushed backwards, maybe like this, Maybe that would look better. Who knows, right? It's art. And of course, the last and final thing we need to draw for this female character is the blushies, right? We got to always draw the blushies. If you don't draw them, then I would say your drawing is not finished. I would do it, there you have it, right? I just would be like, you gotta add them, right? And notice that I'm also coming back to the base of the neck, right, where the neck joins the head, and I'm adding even more lines. That's something else you kind of have to keep in mind. You can even be fancy and erase the bottom here so it doesn't just end with a rigid line. It actually, the hair comes off the back. That's something else you can do. All right, so let's see. What I would like to kind of conclude this on is again, these 6 videos were just focused on giving you the basic foundations to this. Of course, the natural thing to do next would be to try to sharpen this, ink it, and then get it like in top shape. This was just showing where do you place things and what are the ideas that you kind of need to be thinking about when you draw this. And a good exercise would be to try to experiment with different hairstyles, different eye types. Obviously, we're going to at some point cover the male figure in profile. And I actually had to erase a bit of the jaw because that's more realistic. We'll do the male figure at some point, and that will, of course, be different. But if you're wanting to exercise how to draw the female figure from the profile view, or at least the face, right? You can easily do the exact same process I did. You just change the hairstyle, change the eye type. Obviously these details also are going to change. Some people have lips that are more forward, some of them more backwards, the nose might be a different shape, or the jaw might be a different shape as well. And that's just something to keep in mind. So I hope you found these videos insightful and helpful, and I thank you for watching them, and I hope you have a great day and good luck on your drawing journey. I'll see everybody in the next video.